Maze Activity Book is one of the underrated books to sell on Amazon KDP. People don't talk about it that often, and it has way less competition with high estimated revenue per month based on my research. And I would say this is a great product to look into. So in this video, I will take you step by step on how to research, create a list, market, and sell these books, and also how much it costs to get started. The best part is anyone can do this from anywhere in the world. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, my name is Zini and welcome to Zini Studio. The first step in this process would be niche research. It's important to understand a couple of things. One will be demand, competition. You need to know how much these books are being sold for. And along the line, you need to gather keywords which you'll be using in your listings down the road that will help you rank your books on Amazon KDP. We come into Amazon.com and we're going to search Maze books. Once you search Maze books, it has about 8,000 results, but we want to narrow this down because the more niched you are, the better that people can find you. So we'll look into books for kids ages 4 to 8. It's important to mention as well that Maze books can be created for adults if you want to do that, but specifically for this tutorial we'll focus on kids, specifically between the ages of 4 to 8, and we have about 4,000 results, which is not bad. Typically we'll be looking for something less than 1,000, but with 4,000 you could still rank and make a couple of sales as well. So now that we have ascertained some of the mazes, you could see that they are doing well and the prices they are being sold for. But to do an in-depth analysis, I'll be using a Google Chrome extension from BookBolt called KDP Spy. Everything I'm talking about in terms of links will be in the description box below. So I'll just click on that. It's going to open up, and once it opens up, it's going to pull up every detail on this page, and we'll be reviewing the average sales, the reviews, the average price, just to give us a bit of an idea. So we'll just here click on start, and it will start pulling up the results on this page. Then we would stop it at a point just to see the results. So we have on this page, I'm going to look at individual listings, but before we do that, at the very top you could see that the average number of sales based on 21 products that we have pulled is about 693 sales per month, which is a good volume. In terms of review, which is 311, typically we're also looking for reviews less than 1,000, which is good. And you can see that the average price is about $7.48, so you put that in mind when you want to price your own book. Majority of the time is advised if you're creating a new product or you're selling for the first time, you could price your books a little lower than this so you could compete with the other sellers that have been here longer than you. So let's look at some of the books here. So this book was launched 2021, and you could see it makes about 35 sales per month, estimated revenue of 220. Okay, so this is another one. So this particular one makes a whopping 2,574 sales per month estimated, and it makes over $25,000. This is crazy. So let's look at this one. I saw that it's a bestseller. Let's find that. This is another one making about $2,000, and you could see the reviews are low, which says that you could have a fair chance in competing. Then if we find this is making about $4,000, this is making about 1,000, this is 300. These are newer books and they're still making sales. This is 14,000. This is crazy. These are some of the products that have been sold, so at least we understand that people are looking for Maze books for kids between the ages of 4 to 8, and you could see that in terms of competition is fair. It's not extremely fierce or extremely high, and you could make some amount of money based on the estimated revenue per month. Now that has been established, the next thing we're going to do is we want to look into keywords. So I'll go into the BookBolt platform itself. So once you come into the BookBolt platform, we'll be looking at the research. I won't be going through each of this, but I'm just going to be using keywords because I just want to narrow down to what I'm looking for. So keywords, so we could search for, so let's copy Maze and see what the keywords there. So we'll paste it and click on search. Okay, so we'll sort here Amazon sales volume. So we'll just sort. You could see this is a very high searched term itself. Maze books for kids ages 4 to 8 is a high search term, and at the right here you would see Maze books for kids as well. Jesus book for kids. If this is not in relation to what you're trying to create, you could ignore that. Number of books for kids, writing books, spelling books. So these are some ones you could look into, different combinations of these keywords when you are listing your book. So we could see here 101 Maze books for kids ages 4 to 8. So it means that the maze book has 101 pages. This is 50 maze puzzle books for kids, activity books for kids. So we'll take note of these and we'll be using it in our listing when the time comes. So now that we have been able to do a bit of research to ascertain that what we are creating is going to sell, next thing would be to go into the next phase of how to create the maze activity book itself. To create our maze activity book, we'll be using BookBoat, because BookBoat has an inbuilt system that allows you to create things like puzzles, word search books, and that's why we're using, BookBoat specifically, and it's very easy to use. So you come to the top here, click and select create, and it gives you two options. You select BookBoat Studio. It's going to open to a page. This is a blank page, but let me show you what to do. You go to project, new project, and then you choose a paperback. Will be designing both the cover and the interior at once. Then you name your project, so let's just call it maze. And then for the dimensions or the trim size, I'm using 8.5 by 11 inches. That's what I found people use majority of the times. Then for the interior, we'll just use black and white, and it has to bleed. For the page count, you could do more than 24 pages. 24 pages is the minimum. You could do up to 100 like we saw when we were doing the keyword research, but for this tutorial we'll just stick to 24 just to show us how to create this quickly. And we'll just click on create project and it's going to open up. And once it opens up, the first page is the cover page giving you the template. One thing I like about BookBoat is it has already outlined the margins for you, so you will know where to design and where not to cross when you are designing. Okay, so now that we have this open, what we're going to do first is to create the cover, and then we'll go ahead to create the mazes for each of these pages. So for our design, we will be making the maze activity book for ages 4 to 8, but we'll be focusing on animals like zoo animals as the theme. So I'll just come in here. So what I could do is I could switch this off from here, or you come to the transparent cover opacity. Here you could see hide cover template, and it hides, and say okay. Then we'll choose a color for our book. So I'll be using this color. Okay, so in terms of the images that would be on this page, so what you would do is you click here on the image. I've gone ahead to upload images that I like that I'll be using. You could as well come here and browse for any image you want to use, but I like to use my own images personally. So two options if you want to use your own image personally would be, you could decide to create these illustrations yourself in Midjourney like we have done in other videos on the channel, or you could decide to purchase graphics yourself. You could do that on Creative Fabrica. I'll have the link in the description box. So let me use the one I've uploaded already. So I will use this. Okay, so this is zoo animals, so I'll just crop. Okay, so this is sitting all right. So what next I will do, I'll put in a box here for labeling it. So I'll put in a box. I'll change this color to the color that I want. And here you could pick up the text. So you put in here, we want a heading. I'm going to change this to Antoine and make the text white. So I'll call this maze book, and center this a little bit. So here I'm just going to put ages 4 to 8 so people are aware. I'll just use the same heading, but I'll make it small. I'll just make this bold, not extra bold. Okay, so this looks good. I love this already, but we need to put the maze, right? Because we need to see what the maze look like. But before we put in the maze, because we need to create the maze that we're going to put in here, let's just quickly design what the back would be. So I'm just going to put in white boxes to show other mazes once we create them. I'll put in here, I'll just put in square. So 2 boxes. So I'll bring it in. I'll change this to white. Okay, so we'll be putting about the book here. So let me just get the one I've written before. Okay, so when you're putting the about of the book, just be sure that you don't cover the space where you would have the barcode, or else Amazon would reject it when you're previewing it and you have to come back to redesign it. So you can always toggle between the cover and not the cover, just to be sure or you could put it on and reduce the opacity and be sure that the barcode is showing properly. So let's just hide it since it's looking okay. Right, so now that we have this almost complete, we want to get the mazes. So let's just quickly create the maze and we'll pull up the maze here. So in terms of creating the mazes, we have pages 1 to 24. So I'm going to leave 1 and 2 as a page, like a blank white page. Then page 3 would be the owner of the book. Will design this later. We'll leave this blank and we'll start with page 5. So we click on page 5. The next thing we'll do is come here and click on page templates. You click on this and scroll down. We'll be looking at mazes. So we'll be doing the round mazes. So we'll click on it and we're going to select the odd pages. It selects all the odd pages that we want to have the mazes on. So I'll deselect this. So these looks okay. Right, so now that this is done, we'll click on next. So the margins, we'll just leave this the way it is. For the stroke, we want it to be thick, so we could make it 15 pixels. Then we change this to black. You could change it to any color you want, but since the pages are black and white, so you could leave it as black. And then count, because this is for ages 4 to 8, you don't want it to be so complicated, so we could just make 5. The good thing is for all the pages we selected, once we hit submit, it's going to generate different mazes with different designs. It's not going to give you the same maze for the same different pages. So we have cell count as 5. Let's not make it too difficult, and we could click on submit. Right, so immediately we click on submit, you can see how beautiful this looks. So this is a different one. Like I mentioned, it gives you different styles for different pages. It doesn't give you the same thing, it gives you different. Okay, this is another one. Okay, so now that we have all this all done just with the click of a button, you could see how easy it is to create. So the next thing is we're just going to pick up one of these mazes for our front cover. We're going to finish it up before we come and work in the inner pages. So I'll just pick this up. I'll just take it to the front. Okay, I'm going to paste it here. You could use this to send it back, so I'm just going to send it back the image. I want it to be behind the image. Okay, and change this to white so it looks good. I'll reduce it a bit, and voila, this looks really pretty. Okay, so the next thing is to put in 2 mazes here. So I'll just paste this, reduce this. I could use the same one and then switch it around, just flip it so it looks different. And this is good to go. You see how simple and easy it is to create this? It looks really beautiful. And it's important that when you are creating yours, take time to make sure yours stands out. So when people see your book, they can easily click on it and make that purchase. Once we are done with the cover, now let's quickly look into the pages. This looks okay the way it is already, but I want to add a bit of flair to it to show that it's a zoo. So I have another image I uploaded. So I'll just select these kids. They came to the zoo and they are trying to find different animals in location. So that's the team. I'll put them here. So click on it, change to grayscale, because definitely this is going to be black and white. I will put different animals. So I'll put in a picture, then I'll pull in the elephant. Let's reduce this. So you could put the elephant here, and we'll change the elephant as well to grayscale. This really looks stunning. Or you could take it out or beside a little bit so they know this is the exit. You could do this for all the pages for different animals. So let's just do one more so we could proceed to other things. So I'll just and paste. Then we'll add another animal here. I could add giraffe, reduce it, and then change to grayscale. Okay, so this you could play around with it, make sure it looks unique to you, and do it for all the pages. So this looks really good. Then for the third page of who owns the book, I'll just let's use something I have already. So I'll use this so you could crop. And again, we'll change this to grayscale. So effect grayscale. And I'm just gonna get the text for here. I have it created already. So let's just pick it up. Okay, so this book belongs to, they could have their name here. So once you're done editing or formatting all these pages, the next thing would be for us to download it. And once we download it, we'll be going to the Amazon platform. So I could show you how to create an account, upload it, and we could do the listings. So we come to download and we'll look at the current projects, this CMYK printed books, and click on it and allow it to do its thing and download. And once it's done downloading, we'll be moving over to the Amazon KDP platform to do the upload. It's important to mention that for you to use the puzzle software generation within BookBolt, you need to have a pro account. So let's see. So there's a newbie account and there's a pro account. The newbie account is $9.99, but it doesn't have the puzzle generation software, while the pro account has the puzzle generation software. So you could test this out for 3 days. It has a 3 days free trial, and after that you would have to pay $99.99. But I've partnered with BookBolt to get you additional 20% off your pro account purchase price. So you could find that discount code in the description box in case you're using BookBolt to create your maze activity book. So with that being said, if you're finding value in this video, please be sure to like, subscribe to join this community. So our maze activity book is done downloading, downloaded as a zip folder. So let's just open it and see what it downloaded. It will download both the cover as well as the interior. So let's just open the cover and see how it looks like. Yeah, this is how it looks. It looks really stunning. So let's open the second one, the interior. So the first 2 pages are blank. We know that this is book belongs to. That's okay. And you could see what we created. Okay, so now that we have our files downloaded, let's move over to the Amazon platform and let me show you how you could open your account. So to open your KDP account, you come to kdp.amazon.com. If you already have an account, just sign in. If not, click on sign up and it's going to open up this page. So if you already have an Amazon account that you use to make purchases on Amazon, you could use that to log in. But if you don't want to, you just want to separate those 2 accounts, you could click on create your KDP account, fill in your first name, last name, your email, password, and re-enter your password. First name and last name has to be your real names because it has to tie with the tax information you would have to update within the account once it's opened, and you click on create your KDP account. So I won't create a new one because I have an account already. Let me just sign in. Okay, so I've signed in into my account and let me walk you through what you're looking at. So you come to bookshelf, is where you have your books that you have published stored. You have reports for when you start making sales, community for any questions, and then marketing, where we'll be creating A+ content and Amazon ads. We'll get into this much later. So for the bookshelf, you could see here it will say create. So we'll be creating our first book. So we'll click on create. Once you click on create, it's going to open up to this page and ask you what would you like to create. So we would like to create a paperback. Obviously, Maze Activity Book is not a Kindle ebook. So we'll click on create paperback and it opens up. So in our language would be English, then the book title. Now, to mention, your book title has to be, you have to really think about it critically and make sure you also infuse some keywords within it. Why I said so is once you publish this and it's being reviewed and it's live, you can't change your book title afterwards. So you have to really think through before putting your title and your subtitle. So we'll just call this activity book for kids 4 to 8. You could add more. Okay, like this is just for an example. And then if it's a series, you could add it as a series, but it's not a series, edition number, nothing. Then here for the author, you could choose to put in your real name or you could use a pen name. So here I'll just leave it as it is. I'll just call it Zini. It will need like a last name, so we'll just say Zini Publishing House, something like that. And then if there are other contributors, you could put in their name, but no, this is just you. And here you could write a detailed description. Now, your detailed description also has to do with your keywords, right? You could also infuse your keywords with what the description is. I'll just leave this blank. You could always come back and put in the description. Once you publish it, you could always change your description. It doesn't stop you from doing that. Then you could say, I own the copy to the right, so you could click on that. Then the keywords, if you remember, that those keywords we saw when we were researching for the maze activity book, you could put them here. I think some of them were, let's just copy our title. This is one of it. So we could say maze activity book. You could paste this one. You could so let's say paste everything in it. So you could make sure you fill this up to 7 keywords. All right, so once you are done putting your keywords and everything looks okay, then the next thing is to choose category. Now this is where it becomes a little bit funny and dicey. So in choosing a category, Amazon only allows you to choose 2 categories for your books, but you obviously can add up to 8 categories, and I'll show you what to do in terms of your 8 categories. So to choose your categories, we would go back to Bookboard. Bookboard would help us to choose our categories. Then I'll show you how to add the additional 8. So we could come here, choose category. You could see it doesn't necessarily give you the categories to choose from. So let's go to Bookboard. So we come back to Bookboard, the research. Here you can see KDP category, right? And it opens up when you click on it, and it will ask you what's the keyword. So let's paste that, our keyword, and click on search. It's going to give you idea. So you could see it's telling you relevant, activity book, juvenile fiction, juvenile non-fiction. And these are other places, but we're going to use these 2. So we're going to use juvenile fiction and juvenile non-fiction activity books. So we come in here, and with juvenile fiction, we drop down activity book and click on save. Then we choose again juvenile non-fiction activity book, and say you're only allowed to put in 2. So in terms of if you want to get additional categories or additional books, I'll show you where to. So what you could do is you go back to Amazon. One of those books that are selling, you could click into them and find out where they are listed. So let's look at one. So this one, you come to see all the details. So you could see here, you click on this children's maze book, it's going to open. Now when it opens, you could see the category. So the category is, it's in the any department: books, children's books, activity, crafts and games, then activity books, then mazes. So you write this down as it is. You could do this for multiple bestseller books, get up to 8. And once you get up to 8, what you would do is to come to contact us, and this page opens up. So note, this has to be done when your book is already published. You can't do it when your book is in draft or is in review. You have to do this when the book has already been reviewed and published. Then you could send them a message to add those 8 categories. I'm just showing you this so you have this handy. So you come to Amazon stores and product detail page, then you go to update Amazon categories, and you could see it's giving you already a template on how to contact them, right? So you could use this template, mention the unique identifier number for your book. That's your ISBN number that will be generated. You mentioned the marketplace. Is it Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, UK, depending on the marketplace. Then that category that you save, as you could see an example, you could then copy it and paste it here. Obviously, this is a paperback, so you could paste 8 of them. Then you send them a message. They normally reply almost immediately when I tried this, and they will add your book to all these other categories. Okay, so let's get back to editing our listing. So once you are done doing this, for this, don't select any. It's not a low content book. Okay, it's a large print. You could leave it as a large print. And then when you come here, does this book contain adult languages? You say no, and then we go to save and continue. So here it will ask you, get a free KDP ISBN or use your own ISBN. So obviously you click on assign me a free KDP ISBN. So once you do that, in terms of publication dates, some people would like to have it go live on a specific date, but we'll just leave that optional. We don't want to do that. So in terms of the type of book, black and white interior with white paper, yes, we could use this. Then in terms of the trim size, so you could say bleed here. First of all, trim size will be using 8.5 by 11. and we're using bleed. So in terms of the cover finish, you could choose either matte or glossy depending on what you want. Then the next thing is to upload your paperback manuscript. First of all, before we upload this, let's upload our cover. So either you upload your cover yourself or you could create one, but we already created one, so we'll just upload. So let's upload that file that we downloaded. This is the cover. You click on open and it's going to upload. Okay, so once you're done uploading, it says successful. Okay, so the next one would be upload paperback manuscript. So you click on that and we'll be uploading the second one and click on open. Okay, so it has uploaded successfully. So the next thing would be to click on launch previewer. So this would work once you have assigned the ISBN. At this particular stage, what it would do is to try to look at the edges to see if any images is it's outside the margins and things like that. We'll just leave that, and next thing we'll click on save and continue. So let me show you the price. It's asking us to preview and add an ISBN. Okay, let's just assign one for the sake of the tutorial. Let's go ahead, processing file. Let's hold on. So now we can click on the launch previewer. Let's click on that. Okay, so this is the print previewer. You could see everything is sitting in the right frame. If not, it will start giving you errors and to say that there's an error. So let's just play across it quickly. So this is how your book would look like. You could see this is okay. Yeah, this looks okay. So you could say approve. If it has any issues, it would show you, so it won't allow you. Okay, so once you're done here, it will tell you this is the summary, black and white bleed, this is the MAL, this is the page count, and then your print cost. So it costs about $2.15 to print your book anytime a customer purchases, so you are aware of that. Then we'll click on save and continue. So we'll be adding our own amount to on top of this. So remember, we saw $7.46 thereabout, but we would price a little bit lower so we could be more competitive. So say save and continue. I'm not going to publish this. This is just to show you an example. For territories, we say all territories. For primary marketplace, we'll leave it on Amazon.com. Here we could put $6.99. Let's just be competitive. Okay, so all these for different marketplaces would update automatically, so you don't need to do anything. So the next thing is, once you're ready, you could say publish your paperback book. Once you click on this, it takes about 72 hours for them to review it and make it live. Sometimes it takes longer depending on what they're reviewing, or you could also request a proof to be sent to your home so you could see what the print quality is. I've requested some and they look really, really amazing. These are the steps, so I'll just save as draft. I won't publish this. So these are the steps that you would take to list your product on Amazon. So once you list your product and is reviewed and everything is going on well, the next thing to do is to create what is called an A+ content. So what is an A+ content? So an A+ content is almost like additional pictures to your listings like we have on Etsy. So let me show you. Okay, so for example, if I click into this book, without having an A+ content, what you're going to have is just the look inside ability. So when you click on the look inside, it only gives you a preview of just few pages. This might not convert because it doesn't show much, for your customers. So what you would want is to create an A+ content. So this is how an A+ content looks like. Let me scroll down and show you. So this is an A+ content, which allows you to create more pictures of your book, so you could show people what the inside looks like. So this is what we will be creating. So once we are done with this, let's go back. Okay, so we'll be using the standard image header with text. So we click on this. Okay, so it's asking us to put in an image for 970 by 600. So we'll be designing this image in Canva. So let's go over to Canva to design this image. Okay, so coming over to Canva, so we'll just click on create design, custom, and we'll make it 970 by 600. Okay, so it opens up a blank page. So what we'll be doing is we'll be uploading the file that we downloaded so we could take some pictures from there. Okay, so now it's done uploading. So let's see. let's go to our projects and find the file because it was uploaded as a PDF. Okay, so we have this. You could choose to have the back, but I just like using just the front. This is this guy. Okay, so we will be just adding a couple. Let me just add this guy. So I'll just quickly do this and I'll be back. Let me just arrange this properly. Okay, so I've put this together so you could, add more, arrange it properly the way you want. I've made the background white and added 24 pages Zoom maze activity book. Put in the picture. You could add more, make it look prettier if that's what you want. Once this is done, you could add multiple pages if you want to show multiple pages. You could use some products on Amazon as inspiration to see if you want to add more pages to your A+ content. So let's just download this. So I'll click on share and download. Just download it the way it is. Okay, so it's done downloading. So let's upload it here. So we click on image. So we select that. So it's important to also keyword your images because you could see it's asking for keywords. So we could just use the same maze activity book for kids ages 4 to 8, and you could click on add and it adds it here. So if you want to add more, you just come in here and put in a title if you want. I don't normally put in a title. You could come here and click on add module and add as much as you want. Okay, so once you are ready and you feel this is okay, the next thing will be apply ASINs. So this ASIN is the number assigned to your book when it's already live. So we won't have anyone now. There will be nothing to apply. So once we click on next, we could search for the SAIN number and apply to the book. Then you click on submit and wait. It takes about, I think it took mine like 8 days or so. It takes quite a while it to be approved and published, and once it's approved you should get an email from Amazon. But of course, once that is in review, your book is live, you could start making sales while this is being approved. Okay, so while we wait for the A+ content to be reviewed and published, you could launch your Amazon ads. So let me just show you the basics. Go back to your account in marketing. When you come down here, you would see Amazon ads. If you have any book that is in review, you won't be able to click on it, but you could choose where you want to advertise, whether it's .com, and click on go to ad console. So let me show you the ad console. It opens up to this ad console. It gives you 3 screens or 3 options. These are the first one is what you're going to choose because you want to promote just a single book. If you're looking at promoting a group, that's a different conversation, but we'll just click on continue. It opens up. The setup is very simple. So once your book is live, it's going to appear here, like I have the one here. And then in terms of custom text ad, I would use standard. Then you could change the name of the ad group and name it something you like. Then you could choose the book that you want to advertise. So once you choose the book, you come to targeting. For targeting, you use automatic targeting. So Amazon can place the ads themselves. And in terms of the automatic targeting, in terms of the bid, the Amazon ad system goes with a bid. So you'd have to place a bid that you want your ads to show up for. This is something I'm currently testing myself. So you could start very low. So if your profit, for example, is like $2 and you want to get like 10 clicks before you start losing money, you could, do like 20 cents or 25 cents. So we could just make this 25 just to start. Negative word targeting, I don't touch this. So this, I'll leave the dynamic bids up and down. I'm testing this at the moment. So this means that if Amazon shows up an ad that there's a potential to convert, it's going to double or bid up. That's going to be for that click 50 cents. But if it places an ad and there's a possibility for it to convert in a lower range, then it would lower the 25 cents. So I leave this as it is. Then you put in your campaign name, put in when you want it to start and when you want it to end, and put in your budget. Normally put in like $5 a day. So it doesn't use this budget up depending on the amount of clicks or impressions you get. Once this is set up, you could click on launch campaign. Once you click on launch campaign, it's still going to go to review. This takes about like a day or two. So Amazon has a lot of steps in terms of reviewing different steps. So once this goes live, they will send you an email to tell you that your ads has gone live, and you could go to your dashboard to look at what it's, how the ads are performing. Okay, so you might ask, how much does it cost to get started? So the first one would be Amazon KDP account. That is free, so you don't need to pay for that. For BookBolt, it costs about $19.99, but you would have 20% discount to bring that price down. The link will be in the description. For Canva, for creating your A+ content, that you could use Canva free, you don't need to use Pro for that. Then for your graphics, so this is where it depends on your personal preference. If you already have a Midjourney account, you could generate the elements yourself. But if you don't want to generate the elements yourself and you want a cheaper option, you could also check out Creative Fabrica. Creative Fabrica sells all kinds of graphics, and you can choose to buy them individually, or you could use have a paid subscription that you could download endless amounts of graphics every single month. Creative Fabrica costs about $29 per month, but I have a discount for you as well. So it's with my discount, you would be able to download 10 items for free, and after that you could also renew for just $9 per month. That's like 70% discount. So the link will be in the description if you want to check out Creative Fabrica and you want to get the graphics yourself from Creative Fabrica. Yeah, so that would be the summary of all it takes to get started. I know we covered a lot in this video, so what you could do is always to, I have chapters. You could take your time to watch each of the steps to be able to understand how the process works for creating your maze activity book. In the next video, I'll be covering in depth word search puzzle book. So be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to know when I post that video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next.